From Studio A, welcome to the In Wheel Time Car Show. We are your all things automotive car talk show. Along with Mike Out of This World Mars and King Konrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong. Thanks so much for joining on this Saturday. If you're watching us live, we thank you. If you're listening to a podcast, well,
we thank you as well.
We will thank you as well, and we've already done this. But it's a great Saturday here in the Houston, Texas area, and we appreciate it. By the way, speaking of which, we are live with our broadcast every Saturday, and I might as well let the cat out of the bag. Beginning,
I think you should.
Next Saturday, we're going to start a 2.5-hour show. We're going to start at 9:30. So, George,
that way we can get it corrected in the first half hour. And do 2 hours with no problem.
Has it ever been corrected? I don't think it's ever been corrected.
But we want everybody to check in a half hour early. So we're going to
what
start
that's
at
going to
9:30.
lead to is a fresh podcast Monday through Friday. So every 30-minute podcast, once a day, Monday through Friday. So we're going to an extra half hour because the podcasts seem to be the thing.
Well, we're doing well with the podcasting as well.
We are. So we invite you to check us out with the podcasts. If you're doing that right now, thank you very much. Our live broadcast starts on September the 12th at 9:30 a.m., and then we go till 12
Means I got to get here early?
Earlier.
Okay.
But not that. If you don't want to, you don't have to. You're always prepared. You just could walk in and sit down, and you're always good.
Well, you're the diva. You're the you are the member of the Broadcasting Hall of Fame, and we're just riding your coattails there, Miss Streisand.
Is that what you call it?
I'm not saying nothing.
You know, I'm. Let me put this gently.
You can't say that on the radio. We're not on the radio anymore.
I actually, unbeknownst to me,
he's speechless.
No, I'm just trying to figure out how to explain this. So we have time. I'm going to explain this. I don't know whether you two even know this.
Uh-oh.
So when I was on the drag racing tour doing marketing and PR for a Top Fuel team in 2006, my roommate, flying partner, buddy, Mr. Rob Geiger.
Bunky buddy?
Well, kind of. Rob Geiger and I had befriended another guy on a race team. His name, can't remember his name, but anyway, it's the Mach 1 racing team. Well, it's been a while. And so he and his wife, we were out in San Francisco at the race out there.
Sonoma.
And he and his wife said, hey, meet us for dinner. So Rob and I said, sure, we ain't got nothing to do that night. So we drive from Sonoma out to San Francisco in this nondescript area, not in the Castro district. We went to this restaurant called Asia SF.
Yes, you still owe my wife a replacement dinner for sending her there.
Stop and let me finish the story. So we go, and I have no clue. It's listed as Asian fusion cuisine. Okay? It's Chinese food.
Right.
Okay?
And fusion.
So Rob and I go, and we're thinking, what's up with this neighborhood? You can't really put it in any category per se.
Yeah, because it's not in Chinatown.
So they show up, and we go inside, and we're the first ones there. They open at 5 o'clock. That's the time for our date. There's nobody there. Okay? And the bar down the middle and seats all around. And, man, once we got there, all of these people come in. The place is packed within 30 minutes. We got this smoking hot waitress. I mean, she was fine. And I'm drooling all over the place going, wow, great.
California girls, huh?
Yep. And so she says, it's...
Hi, how are you?
So she says, we serve this in different courses. It's a 5-course dinner. And say, okay, well, I'll take, these. So to bring food course by course, everything's all fine, well and good. And she's dressed in a little blue dress about the color of your shirt right there. And we're almost done with the dinner. And she says, would you excuse me for a minute? I'll be back, but just hang in there with me. The lights go dark, And up from the end of the bar behind the curtain is our waitress. And she's walking down the center of this, I don't know, 20-foot bar, lip syncing a Barbara Streisand song. It's a drag place. I had no clue it was a man that was serving me.
Well, you're in Sonoma at the drag race.
It was a smoking hot guy.
Smoking hot guy.
Yeah, it was a smoking hot guy. And, of course, our buddy and his wife were just on the floor laughing because we were sitting there.
And you and Rob were just kind of snuggled up together to hide from the crowd.
Oh, my God. And so, I mean, there was a huge wedding party in there. The place was packed with regular folks and everybody there to enjoy the drag show. And
it is quite an attraction of a place to go to in San Francisco.
So if you're into that sort of thing and want to go see a great show with beautiful women, then go there. Asia SF. You can look it up online.
He hasn't mentioned the food.
The food was okay.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing wrong with the food. It's good. It was good. At any rate. All right. So enough of that. I've told that story now, and we can move on. There is
It's going to be a tough act to follow, Michael.
So Don went back to Sonoma, and he was drag racing in high heels. That's where he got his red pumps. Off the rails again.
So we're going to shift gears now, and we're going to talk about a cruise-in that comes up at the end of the month. I believe it's going to be on September the 22nd.
Oh, this is a real car show.
And it is the Woody's Waterfront Car Show down in San Leon. And joining us right now is Mr. Micheal Wooding. Hey, bud, did you enjoy the story?
Morning, fellas.
Did you enjoy the story?
I'm still trying to grasp yours, Don.
Well, that was an interesting choice of words.
Well, there's that. Okay. We're just gonna kind of move on from that, and we're going to talk about Woody's Waterfront Car Show. And I know that the first one was a huge success, and we're actually looking forward to another successful Woody's Waterfront Car Show. Tell everybody where the car show is in San Leon.
Well, there is it's actually an old marina. It's been family owned for years. It used to be full of shrimp boats and the like. And then after the matriarch father died, the son took it over and got rid of all the shrimp boats and built a restaurant there that serves some spectacular seafood. Their fried food is the best there is. They do blackened. They do just about anything you want, called Topwater Grill. And so they've really modified the place a little bit for the COVID situation. So we've got a tremendous amount of outdoor tables set up for food and stuff when you want to eat. But then the car show itself, I believe, is the main reason to come. The first year we were out there, we had 90 cars, and I'm anticipating around 150 cars this year.
Oh, my. Yeah.
We've had tremendous response. We've picked up a bunch of new sponsors from Classic Chevrolet, Cayman's Motor Cars, Corvette World here in Houston, just one after the other. A couple of them are antique car dealers, classic car dealers, hot rodders. Tice Motorsports and Cayman's are going to bring out some cars that will be for sale. So there'll be some cars there set up for that. I've got Corvette World bringing out one of the latest Corvettes. I'm hoping Classic Chevrolet is one of the sponsors, Classic Chevrolet in Sugar Land. He's doing Bobby Spears there is the parts manager, and he's doing his best to line up a 2020 Corvette for the show.
Oh, cool.
I don't know that we're going to get it, but we're going to give it our best shot.
Well, it's a spectacular location you're putting the show off at. You really love it. You're just right there on the water.
It is. We've got the big pavilion out there where you can sit and stay cool if you want to. The trailer is not going to serve barbecue this year. I had a talk with him. If you don't want to go into the restaurant and you want to eat, we're going to have the food trailer from the restaurant set up out there doing fried catfish and shrimp and that type of thing.
Gotcha.
So that'll be good.
So
there is a bar located in the pavilion, as you know, so you can get a drink if you want one.
I remember the Bloody Marys.
So, Woody, I have to ask you, is it a sellout? I mean, have you filled up the entire parking lot? Are people still able to register and come out?
When you register the day of the show, the first 50 people that register at the show will get a free T-shirt, not unlike the one I have on here with all the sponsors on the back. We'll also have a few T-shirts for sale. You guys got yours. I'm sure Konrad has passed them on already.
Yes, he has, and thank you very much for that.
Yes.
All the sponsors have a special shirt made with just their logo on the back. So you'll be able to tell the guys that actually help sponsor the show as they're walking around the show.
Nice
Cool.
touch.
So if there's anyone in particular you want to talk to, they'll be easy to spot.
Oh, cool. Good idea.
Well, I have to tell you, and I've told you before that we go to a lot of different car shows, and it was one of the best car shows that we have ever been to, and it's really thanks to you because of your expertise in classic cars, and I know that you do appraisals on classic cars, and I know that you've got connections and that sort of thing, but it was such a diverse group of cars that most of them we had never seen before. All of them cruised, well, almost 90%, 95% of them cruised there. Some were actually trailered there and then shown there. I mean, it was that significant a show, and I can almost guarantee anybody that is watching or listening to our program that it is going to be another great show. So it's going to be September the 26th. And what time do things get started down there, Woody?
The actual show hours are 9 to 4. But if it's anything like last year, people start showing up about 6:30, 7 o'clock.
Right at sunrise. Yeah.
You know, they want to get those free T-shirts, you know. So.
Well, it's not only that, but you also want to get a good place, a place of your choice. And I know that you kind of guide people in, and you start the show up there toward the pavilion, and then move it back toward the regular people's parking lot.
And like I said, a little bit of the COVID tables have taken up some of that area this year.
Right.
For
So
their outdoor dining.
A little bit less waterfront spots there, so still be able to get about 100 cars in there, but it's going to be limited just a little bit.
Well, and you know, it sits on the water, and let me just tell everybody that, you know, you have to kind of wind your way back there, because I'd forgotten, you know, San Leon is not right on the highway, and there's a kind of a twisty road that you've got to make your way back there, and I think that kind of adds to the uniqueness of it, because it is a true sense of the word cruise in, and it's fun to get there and fun to leave, and it takes you about 30 minutes maybe from I-45, the Gulf Freeway?
Once you leave the Gulf Freeway, it's about 20 minutes to get
20 minutes.
It makes you feel like you're a long way from Houston, but you're not.
Yeah, it's just kind of unique winding your way out onto the point. You're really out there on the point into the bay.
Yes. Yeah, exactly.
Right. The location actually gives you a good view of Dickinson Bay as well as Galveston Bay.
And it's a great spot to photograph your car as well.
Oh,
because with the water background and stuff, and even with the pavilion, on top of the food was awesome.
And this year we've stepped up a little bit. Instead of having a DJ, I have a live band coming called Jim's Shuffle Band. I don't know if you guys are fans of country western music, but they're going to play primarily country western music.
That's country and western, I believe.
Both kinds.
Both kinds of music.
Yeah, are they going to be in the pavilion or?
No, I'm going to set them out on the far corner, the opposite end from the pavilion.
Yeah.
Because, you know, that big concrete slab that was to the back there,
Yes. Right.
we're probably going to fill that up this year.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So that way they can project sound down toward the pavilion and back over.
Okay. Kind of puts them in the middle of the crowd then.
Right, exactly.
So plenty of food, lots to drink. It's a great location, and it's a gathering of people from all over Southeast Texas and beyond for a Saturday cruise-in down there at the Topwater Grill. It's called Woody's Waterfront Car Show. Happens September the 26th, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Woody, it's great to talk to you. Thanks so much for joining us today. We look forward to seeing you on September 26th.
Look forward to seeing you guys, and we're going to have a great time.
Yes,
Great
we
time.
are. Thank you, sir. Talk to you soon. That's Woody, and truly, I mean, I'm not blowing smoke. That was such a unique, wonderful cruise-in that I don't think any of us had really ever experienced before.
Yeah, because sitting out there on the pavilion, the breeze coming in off the water, and you got literally water all around because of the way the boats come in. and it just got this different vibe to it
Very
than
much
being
so,
in a
very much
parking
so.
lot. I mean, that's usually where we're at, in a parking lot.
Yep.
No, you don't even feel like you're in a parking lot.
Agreed, totally. All right, we've got more of In Wheel Time in just a moment, including This Week in Auto History, right after this quick break.
Uh-oh, Brad's buzzed.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he's starting with the woots. And now a speech.
I just want to say that friendship is about heart and brain. Who's with me?
Good thing is, he knows when he's buzzed.
And my brain is saying, when it's time to go home, somebody call me a ride.
Love that guy.
Me too.
Know your buzzed warning signs? Call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
A social distancing tip.
Putting distance between yourself and others is critical to slowing the spread of coronavirus. So here are ways to stay in contact without the physical contact part. Call, send a text, set up a video conference, post on social media, dedicate a song on the radio. If you have symptoms of fever, dry cough, and shortness of breath, call your healthcare provider before going to their office. For more info, visit coronavirus.gov.
Let's all do our part, because we're all #alone together. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Well, I lied. We've already had This Week in Auto History. What we haven't had is Konrad's Car Clinic, but we're going to have it now on the In Wheel Time Show.
Today we're going to talk about tire rotation, why it's important, and how often should you do it. You know, everybody thinks tires are just these rubber things full of air that keep you on the road.
And they are that.
They are that, but, you know, you don't have to do much to them. You really do, because you want to make sure you're maintaining them correctly. And maintenance on those tires, first maintenance is to check the air pressure, because the air pressure is critical to the wear and durability of the tire. The next thing is you want to spin them around the car every now and then so that you can even out the wear. One of the reasons you need to rotate your tires is your tires on the front of the vehicle that steer the vehicle wear differently than the tires on the back of the vehicle. So when you look at your front tires, the edges are kind of rounded off, because when you steer, the tire kind of rolls over to the side and you'll scrub that edge. The tires on the back generally have more of a sharp edge on the sides of them, because they just roll flat all the time, and they don't necessarily roll the edge as much as the front tires
Unless
do.
you're drifting.
Well, that different story. So, you know, you want to make sure you can even that wear out. And one of the things we've learned over time is generally you want to rotate your tires, my opinion, about every 5,000 miles. And the reason for that is that's going to give you your longest wear pattern on the tires, so that you don't scallop the tires, because sometimes if you don't rotate the tires, you get these little rough divots in the sides of the tire and they create a noise. So rotating them will keep that from happening. The problem is with today's cars, with these 7,000, 8,000, 10,000 mile oil change intervals, if you're only rotating your tires at the oil change interval, you're going to eat your tires up a little bit quicker. So you want to get on a tire rotation schedule that is more frequent than an oil change schedule.
Personally, I'm a 5,000 mile oil change tire rotation kind of guy.
And I am too. You know, I think that's really where you want to be. But a lot of manufacturers are going for these longer oil change intervals. But your Corvette, you can't rotate the tires on that, because you have a staggered tire. You have a different size tire in the back than you do in the front, and that's actually quite common on a lot of performance cars. But it's also common on some of the luxury cars as well.
But you know what? On my performance tires, they don't have that many miles on them, but the wear is very even from the front to the back.
Well, but you don't drift in it. You don't beat it too bad.
No, I don't. No.
You know, you're actually pretty careful with it. And then another thing on performance cars, and your Corvette being one of the originals, is they have directional tires. The tire has to spin in the same direction all the time, and there's usually arrows on the side of the tire showing you the direction of spin. Those can't be rotated like a normal tire is as well. But those are the lesser part of the market. The greater part of the market is going to be everybody's got the same size and they're not directional tires. So why should you get your tires rotated? Again, is to even out the wear. But the other thing you have to do in evening out the wear is make sure you're getting in alignment. I'm a believer in alignment about once a year. If you're putting that kind of miles on the car, most people are putting 12 to 15,000 miles on a car a year. You should get your alignment once a year. And I'm also going to recommend you get your tires balanced about every third or fourth tire rotation. So again, that's going to roll into about once a year as well.
How does the tire get unbalanced? If all the weights are still on there, how does it unbalance itself?
Tread wear. You know, if your tread wear gets odd because you haven't maintained them correctly, the tire can get a little bit of an unbalance. But the other thing is this, what I talked about earlier, this scalloping or this cupping of the tire. If you're not doing a good job of managing that, that's going to put a vibration in your drive as well.
Or for me, where the car sits for 3 weeks at a time in flat spots.
Well, and the flat spot goes away after you drive it, but still you have that vibration when you first drive a car that's sat for a period of time.
Speaking of, go ahead.
I was going to say, I saw a deal that was advertised, and somebody was asking like $40 for a set of 4 basically wheel blocks that would prevent the tire from flat spotting.
Well, yeah, you got to jack the car up.
But $40? Are you kidding?
Well, you could buy the cheaper ones at Harbor Freight that broke and they recalled.
Hey, you be careful. You be careful about what you're talking
That's right.
about.
George
here
just got you that from Harbor Freight.
Yeah, I know. Thank you very much.
I was going to ask you if you're doing let's say you locked up the tires at a high rate of speed.
And flat spotted it.
Could you flat spot? Could you take enough rubber off in a skid to flat spot it?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And with anti-lock brakes, it's a lot harder to do. But without anti-lock brakes, flat spotting a tire is very, very easy to do. And that's going to put a vibration in the car that you're not going to be able to balance out of it because you're actually rolling on a round piece, and then every now and then it gets flat.
Okay.
You know, Jeff, our tire guy, is over here, and he reminded us that, you could throw a wheel weight as well if the wheel weights weren't put on correctly. And, some cars, the wheel weights are clipped over the edge of the wheel. Some of them are glued on the inside of them.
Got.
Right. So, again, if you maintain them, they're going to last a lot longer. Tires can be quite expensive to replace, and Don's got his torque wrench out.
He's playing with his tool over there.
But you need to use a torque wrench when you put your wheels back on your vehicle as well, because you want to torque that on the vehicle correctly, because an uneven torque of the wheel to the car, to the hub, can cause a vibration.
And I wanted to thank George for being so nice and sending me a brand new torque wrench that
nice and shiny.
The Craftsman Tools couldn't do, even though they say that they have a lifetime warranty. So, hey, Craftsman. Pretty much. That's it. So thank you very much for my ClickType Pittsburgh Pro torque wrench from Harbor Freight. It's very nice, and I really appreciate it. And I know that it will last a lifetime. And if it doesn't, I know that I can take it back to Harbor Freight, and they're going to say, sure, Mr. Armstrong, we'll be happy to exchange it for a brand new one. We're so sorry it broke.
Can we see the receipt?
I'll make one up.
So I will say, we used water pumps from Harbor Freight down at the beach and it lasts about a year. So you buy the 1-year extended warranty, you walk in there, froze up because of all the sand and stuff in it. Here's my receipt. They look at it. Here's your new pump. And you walk out the door. I mean, they're very good about it.
Yeah.
Unlike others.
So keep your tires rotated, and you may be rotating them at a clip faster than you're changing your oil.
We happen to have Automotive News next here on the In Wheel Time program.
Yeehaw.
If baby could talk, she'd say a lot. You'd know what she's thinking and what makes her happy. But unfortunately, baby can't talk or remind you. You're the one taking her to daycare today, and she won't speak up if you drive straight to work like any other day and never think to look in the backseat. Every year, dozens of kids die from heat stroke in cars. No one is perfect, so set a reminder and always look before you lock. Where's Baby? Paid for by NHTSA.
Is your business or company looking to stand out in a crowded advertising market? Looking to reach the real auto enthusiast? Well, you found it. You're listening or watching In Wheel Time, and so are your fellow enthusiasts. The In Wheel Time Car Show now reaches 500,000, and we can put together a marketing plan that will engage them in your product, business, or service. To get the tires rolling, just shoot us an email to our marketing director, Jeff Zekin. His address is jeff@inwheeltime.com. And I just wanted to thank all of our followers for the nice comments about the new torque wrench that George sent. Candace Thackeray had a comment. Would you like to go ahead and read the comment?
Yeah, Don will need a smaller torque wrench for his project.
She said project?
Well, she said project.
Well,
I said nut.
Off the air, he adjusted it.
But
Great.
she would know.
She would. She's part of the automotive family.
That's
And
right.
Ford Automotive
Yeah,
family,
Ford
too.
up there in Missouri.
She can't
So,
wait to
Candace,
get her Mach-E.
we think of you all the time, and we thank you for watching us today. And Candace is battling breast cancer, and our prayers are with you, and we love you, and hang in there, and it's all going to be good. We appreciate you watching the show. Hey, I wanted to remind you before we run out of time that tonight's the big Labor Day Classic Texas Asphalt Racing Series car race that's going to be up at Houston Motorsports Park. Gates open at 5. Racing begins at 6 o'clock. $1 beer, $1 hot dogs, $1 Cokes, and adults $15, kids $5. It's a great event. It's, yes, mask up. They've got hand sanitizer there, and it's a fun weekend event, especially here we are at Labor Day already, the Labor Day weekend. So it's the NASCAR Weekly Series sponsored by Advance Auto Parts at Houston Motorsports Park is located up at North Lake Houston Parkway. And if you will go to NASCARHouston.com, you can find out all of the information there. If you want to find out how to get there, you want to be reminded again, well, how much was it, or where is it? Yeah, just go NASCARHouston.com and you can get all of that. That's what the flyer looks like, Labor Day Classic.
Be there.
Be there. Be fun tonight. All right, time now for the stories making Auto News headlines for the week. And, you know, it's funny because there really wasn't much news until about the middle of the week. And then it all came shooting out. I guess reporters working overtime or something. But at any rate, here we go. You ready? The Grand Wagoneer, one of Jeep's storied nameplates, being resurrected as a tech-laden plug-in hybrid concept that includes the industry's first passenger infotainment screen in an SUV. I knew they'd come out with something to make it different. It's expected to arrive at dealerships next summer along with the mainstream Wagoneer, so 2 vehicles really. The latest Grand Wagoneer includes the industry's first passenger infotainment screen in an SUV. The 10.25-inch screen, which is shielded from the driver by a privacy film on the glass, allows occupants to find destinations and send them to the driver, for example, which is kind of cool, right? Production of the Grand Wagoneer and its mainstream sibling, the Wagoneer, will start in the second quarter of 2021 at Fiat Chrysler's Warren, Michigan truck assembly.
Will that make
plant.
the backseat driver be quiet and quit telling you where to go?
Let's hope.
Now he's just going to text you.
Well, we put a video up on and a story up on In Wheel Time on our Facebook page about the Grand Wagoneer as well. So if people want to go
They did a little
see more information
Press
about it, we
release
can
on
do
it,
it.
yeah.
Do you own any stocks?
Yeah.
Do you own any stocks in Tesla?
They just went 5 for 1.
You wish that you had Tesla stock. Tesla plans to sell as much as 5 billion shares, capitalizing on its high-flying price and on a recent stock split that Konrad just mentioned that made it more accessible to individual investors. The electric car maker will sell the shares from time to time through an agreement with several banks. The company plans to use the proceeds to strengthen its balance sheet and for general corporate purposes. Kind of cloak and dagger stuff.
Hey, they're trying to pay for the new plant they're building in Austin.
Yep. Tesla raising money while it expands with new factories going up in Germany and Austin, Texas. It's a pivotal time for the manufacturer, which faces more competition, a lot more competition, from established automakers and startups alike, aiming to chip at its lead in electric vehicle sales. I think that they will, unless they blow it, which I doubt it, that they are still going to be, for quite some time, the forerunner in electric vehicles.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I think they are. And one of the things, they burn through a lot of cash. That's one of the complaints. They burn through a lot of cash. But look at where they're pushing the EV market, what
They're
everybody's having
pushing
to do
the
to
industry,
keep up
yeah.
with them. And so, I mean, if you're the leader,
Everybody, the view never changes.
well, but it just costs more to be out front. I mean, that's just what it is. I mean, they're going to burn through some cash trying to make it work.
I can't remember the exact price of the stock when they split 5 for 1, but it was like $2,200, $2,300 a share.
Yeah.
So your stock price still only went down to like $460.
Went down to
darn.
My stock price only went down to $460.
Your stock price, you dog, you.
Didn't have much, but had a few.
Well, at any rate. And the LA Auto Show. Scheduled for November, postponed for 6 months because of coronavirus, setting up a calendar packed with major U.S. auto shows next spring that include New York and Detroit auto shows. So
yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how all that plays out.
All of that's going to be extremely interesting.
Because you got to remember now, Houston at the end of January is really going to be the first major show of the year.
Yeah.
So we ought to be able to step up real big.
You know, we still don't know everything that there is to know about that, but we will find out. Well, that's it for today's In Wheel Time Car Show. Hey, when you're on Facebook, please give us a like and tell your friends about us. You'll get Konrad's unicorn hunting features, which you'll love, along with all things automotive all week long, as a matter of fact. In Wheel Time Car Show streams on Facebook, YouTube, and on InWheelTime.com. Podcasts are found on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, iHeart Podcast, Google Podcast, and Podcast Addict. Special thanks to all of our guests today. The In Wheel Time Chief Engineer is the fabulous David Ainsley. Our video and marketing maven and member of the Hair Club for Men fan club, Jeffrey Zekin. The In Wheel Time Car Show is produced and directed by Harry Chapin. For booking agent and podcast man Mike Out of This World Mars and his royalty, King Konrad DeLong, I'm Don Armstrong saying so long for now. And we hope you'll join us live next and every Saturday, beginning at 9:30 a.m. next week to noon, right here on the Smoke and Mirrors Network. Hey, thanks for being a part of the In Wheel Time family. Enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Mask up. Be fabulous. Wash those nasty hands and stay sanitary. We'll see you at Houston Motorsports Park tonight for Asphalt Circle Track Racing beginning at 6. So long for now. We'll see you next week.